Hello everyone and welcome. And was your toothbrush involved in a DDoS attack? Chances are no. Basically a story came out that what was it? It was like 3,000 or 30,000 freaking wireless toothbrushes were involved in a DDoS attack in Switzerland. Chances are that wouldn't happen. Um, like I, I looked up wireless toothbrushes, and the only ones I could find really were Bluetooth ones. So, oh, by the way, excuse the mess. I'm in the middle of cleaning, and in the middle of like moving my room around. But anyway, so the whole concept of it basically turned out that. Oh, I got it right here. Actually, you know what? Let me shrink. So anyway, so the whole story is going around that there was 3 million wireless toothbrushes used in a DDoS attack. From my knowledge of cybersecurity, as coming from someone with a diploma in cybersecurity, the chances of that happening are pretty slim to none. Mostly due to the fact that as a Bluetooth device, which is what a lot of them are, and they basically just hook up to your phone with an app to tell you how long you brush your teeth, did you brush the right parts, that sort of thing. It's pretty impossible. I mean, I'm not saying it's totally impossible. It's pretty impossible due to the fact that Bluetooth actually doesn't reach the internet. The way that Bluetooth would reach the internet is through the app on the phone. So theoretically, if they somehow broke into the app for the toothbrush and basically piggyback off that, maybe installed a crypto miner or something. But then that would be basically just turning your phone into the DDoS attack rather than your toothbrush, because the way the Internet of Things works, I mean, you got your Alexas and all that which connect to the internet. So it is very plausible that if someone could get their hands on the code for that and break in there and hijack those, it is very possible that they could somehow force it to send data. The thing with a DDoS attack is it isn't just pings. A lot of people just think a DDoS attack is, oh, I'm going to send 500 million pings and block a system. No, a DDoS attack can be a whole bunch of GET requests, a whole bunch of POST requests, a whole bunch of gibberish data. And that will basically clog up the system and shut it down. But to do that, you need to have devices that are actually connected to the internet, not connected to an internet-capable device through Bluetooth. Because while they will have some firmware, I mean, they're going to have a little bit of firmware in them, basically for enabling the Bluetooth to connect to your phone, to the app. Some of them have the firmware for you have brushed your teeth for this amount of time, and that sort of thing. The firmware on stuff like that is fairly minimal. But as I said, if regarding the app, if they could somehow get a hold of the app and push the app out, or hijack the app to hijack your phone, then they could do a DDoS attack. So it turns out that this whole thing, if you're reading up here, is a false claim. But like media today, I mean, I actually seen a fair bit of it pop up when it first came out. And people were like, oh, it actually happened. No, it didn't. Basically, where's the story? It's basically a hoax, but as I said, you can't 100% rule it out because, I mean, if you get into the firmware, you could use the firmware to hack into the phone, but at the same time, you have to get through the phone to get to the firmware on the device. So, really, you're looking at something like this won't happen for the most part. Mostly because of the limitations of the Bluetooth. Because to get to the device, you got to connect to Bluetooth. Bluetooth has a limited range. But as I said, if you can break into the application on the phone, you could certainly hijack the phone for something like that. As I said, it's the same as in Alexa. If someone could hijack Alexas, could you imagine the botnet that they would have for doing DDoS attacks if they could break into Alexas? If someone like found a nasty little back door that you could just go boop, but then you're still having to get through routers and stuff like that. So even that, I mean, unless you're letting people in your system, you're pretty much safe these days as long as you do your patches, do your updates. Don't go to shady sites like freaking, I don't know. I don't even know what shady sites you'd go to. I try to stay away from them for the most part. Unless I'm looking for something to attack me. But at the same time, I mean, I've seen, and I've downloaded a couple into a VM, a nice little secure VM, just so I could see what happens. But you get basically like Jesus, what's the word? Anyway, one of my favorites that I actually go to, which is pretty safe. TV. So a site like this. You go to a site like this. It's worldwide internet television. And there's a lot of shady sites like this. And all this does is it conglomerates all the internet streaming, like news channels, webcams. I mean, you got News TV, News English, you got Sky, ABC News, CGTN, France 24. You got all those, but I mean, they all stream on YouTube anyway. I just use this site because it's easier to find. But there's some sites that go like this that will also have an app involved with them, and I've downloaded some of those apps, and some of those apps not only have keyloggers and malware. I found one that basically was a crypto miner. But it basically did the same thing. It basically just took a whole bunch of internet available things, put them in one package, and they were like, hey, you should pay us X amount and we can make this easier for you. And then you download it, and crypto miner opens up a backdoor in your system and that sort of thing. And they are out there, and there are a lot of them out there. And the problem is, all it takes is one bad apple to screw up the bunch. I said that wrong. I said that very wrong. It takes one bad apple to ruin the bunch, I think. Possibly, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so while it is hypothetically possible to hijack Bluetooth devices, I mean, you're limited by range, for one thing. And you're limited by the firmware installed on them. The firmware can only do so much without it breaking. I mean, you're more apt to end up getting your devices set up in a botnet doing DDoS attacks by downloading shady shit off the internet than you are by having a Bluetooth toothbrush in your house. So anyway, so that's been my rant. I was going to play a game today, but I'm tired. And I'm exhausted after work today. So yeah, so chances are your toothbrush and any wireless toothbrush was not involved in a DDoS attack, because it turns out it was hypothetical. But at the same time, as it says here, the proof of concept is hacking the Bluetooth-enabled toothbrushes to mess with the brushing time. Because that's all you could really do with that. Because I don't even think these would really have the processing power to really do anything. I really do not. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you see, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. This has been a rant, not a good one. But I enjoyed making it, and I enjoyed looking it up, and I enjoyed researching it, because stuff like that interests me, and I hope you have a wonderful day.